lives with mercy and rahmah, as all of us are in the need of the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We continue our book Riyad Saliheen by Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, the 13th chapter, Babu fi bayani kathrati turukil khair, the chapter of numerous ways of doing good deeds. And this is hadith number 10. And the hadith is when Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qala, Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu reports that the Prophet ﷺ said, بَيْنَمَا رَجُلٌ يَمْشِي بِالطَّرِيقِ اشْتَدَّ عَلَيْهِ الْعَطْشِ. There was a man who was walking in a path where he became extremely thirsty. Who was this individual? Who was this person? We'll talk about that in just a few moments. فَوَجَدَ بَئِيرًا فَنَزَلَ فِيهَا فَشَرِبَ. He found a well and he came down, فَنَزَلَ, he came down the well, and he took some water and he drank from it. ثُمَّ خَرَجَ, and he came out of this well feeling a little bit more comfortable that he was quenched with thirst. فَإِذَا كَلْبٌ يَلْحَثُ يَأْكُلُ الثَّرَى مِنَ الْعَطْشِ. What he sees amazes him, that he sees a dog that is licking the mud because of excessive thirst. There was no water available for the dog. They can't jump inside this well and come out of it. So whatever wet mud was found, فَإِذَا كَلْبٌ, kalb refers to an animal, يَلْحَثُ يَأْكُلُ الثَّرَى, which was licking the wet mud مِنَ الْعَطْشِ because of excessive thirst. فقال الرجل لقد بلغ هذا الكلب من العطش مثل الذي كان قد بلغ مني. He said, I feel that subhanallah, this dog is going through the same pain of hunger that I was, or the thirst that I was going through a few moments ago. Meaning sometimes, may Allah always keep us in afiyah and khair, but sometimes when you have been through a certain situation, the pain of others, you can really relate to someone's pain when someone has gone through certain times. So he says that even though it was an animal, but he said it's just like that same thirst and that I had felt. فَنَزَلَ الْبِئِيرُ, this man came down the well again. فَمَلْأَ خُفَّةُ مَاءٍ, he gathered his sock, and usually when the travelers of the Arab or the Bedouins used to travel, they would carry leather socks that they would wear. So khuf in Arabic means a leather sock. So he picked up he took off his sock, he filled it up with water, ثُمَّ أَمْسَكَ بِفِيهِ, Allahu Akbar. In order to climb back from the well, he put this sock that he had, leather sock, in his mouth, and he was holding on to it. And he was grabbing himself, that's what the Prophet ﷺ said, and he's pulling himself out of this ba'ir. حَتَّى رَقِيَ, until he came out, فَسَقَ الْكَلْبِ, and he gave that water to this dog. فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ, Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of being so merciful and so grateful, that he found, as they say, Allah ne uske amal ki qadr ki, meaning Allah honored the action of this individual. فَشَكَرَ, right? The one who shows the most shukr is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his ibad. فَشَكَرَ Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him the gratitude of his amal and action. What did Allah do for him? Allah forgave him. فَغَفَرَ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave this individual. فقال, the Sahaba who were listening to this story, they said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inna lana fil bahaimi ajrun. Ya Rasulullah, do we get reward for helping the animals? Meaning it was just the people, we thought, do we even get reward for helping the animals? فقال في كل كبد رطب أجر, for every liver that moves. Meaning the example is, for every living thing that you can provide, there is ajr for you. Meaning Muslim, non-Muslim, animal, anything that if you can provide and you can grant them khair, Allah will give you. في رواية البخاري, and this is from Sahih Muslim and Bukhari. In the riwayat of Bukhari, it mentions فَشَكَرَ اللَّهُ لَهُ فَغَفَرَ لَهُ فَأَدْخَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ, to an extent that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him from the people of Jannah. This addition is present. وفي رواية لهما, in another narration of Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, بينهما كلب, there was an animal يطيف ببركته فقد كاد يقتل العطش, he was about to die because of thirst. إذا رأيته بغي من البغي بني إسرائيل, there was a woman from amongst the people of Bani Israel who wasn't engaged in the most decent of actions. Meaning a woman who was engaged in actions which were immodest. Her track record wasn't the best. Her life wasn't the best and the most righteous and the most pious. But when she saw this animal, فَنَزَعَتَ مَوْقِهَا, she saw this opportunity, she gave the water, and because of this, Allah changed her life and Allah forgave her. Meaning, this amal was not the only thing that became as maghfirah, But because of certain good deeds, Allah changes our lives to become better individuals, right? It becomes the catalyst, it becomes the reason of us forgiving. Someone can say, oh, this person did so much haram. One good deed, they went to Jannah. No, Allah is Kareem, Allah can do it. We don't own Jannah. But sometimes we don't realize, brothers and sisters, small amal and action, Allah can accept, and that can change our entire life to be righteous individuals. Small amal can become qabul in the eyes of Allah. So there's nothing that we should ever consider to be less. So this riwayah itself, again, the hadith of Rasulullah from the chapter of kathrati turukul khair. There are so many ways of finding Allah. There are so many ways of finding the maghfirah of Allah. It's us to find this opportunity. And one thing that I'll conclude by saying, audit yourself every single day. The hadith of Rasulullah muhasabah, right? If you run businesses, if you run works, and you have shops, whatever it is, you make sure that you run the numbers at the end to see if good is more than bad itself. Rasulullah recommended muhasabah every night. Before you go to bed, audit yourself. Assess your entire day. Was it good more or bad more? Reflect over the good and thank Allah for it. Reflect over the wrong and make intentions of spending the next day better than today. May Allah give us tawfiq and ability to practice whatever good has been shown. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta